If it's not on the list, it doesn't exist. That has been my tagline from the very beginning, from when I first created crinacle.com all the way till today, where it is my sign-off on the Hangout.audio channel. And throughout the years, there's always been kind of a tongue-in-cheek, haha, funny kind of tagline. Like, of course, obviously, I wouldn't have tested every single IEM on the planet. But it was a nice little tagline. It was funny, it rhymed, and some people thought that I was actually being serious with the whole thing. But what if I told you that that tagline is now the truth? So for a bit of context, we have my old IEM ranking list. It's very famous. I'm pretty sure most of you, if not all of you, have seen it at this point. It is a list of every single IEM that I have tested, graded on a scale from S all the way down to F. On top of that, it also has the value rating system, which takes price into account, starting from 1 star, then 2 stars, then 3 stars. And of course, in July of last year, I have officially retired from IEM reviews, and effectively, so has the IEM ranking list. But even back when I was active, updates to the ranking list was few and far between, and for a very simple reason. It is very difficult. Again, putting the context that there is over 1,000 individual models that I have to rank, I also put it upon myself to ensure that the ranks themselves are also normally distributed, because if everything is good, nothing is. So updating the ranking list would effectively be me going through every single model on the ranking list and ensuring that all of them are relative to each other. So it was a difficult job, and now that it's been discontinued, I feel like a very large weight has been lifted off my shoulders. If you go into the ranking list right now, you probably see that there is a pop-up trying to redirect you to the new list, which is going to be the topic of this video. What is the new list? Crinacle, is this the new ranking list? Kind of. Before I go any further, let me just thank the man, the myth, the legend who designed the UI of this new website almost single-handedly. Mark Reinzelli, otherwise known as MRS, aka Super Reviews. He's a great reviewer, close personal friend, and you should check out his channel at Super Review. He's also instrumental in developing my new graph tool, which is again now completely free to the public. So hey, go to his channel, watch a few of his reviews if you like them, subscribe, and of course support the people who support me. I would also like to thank my staff members who have contributed greatly to this project, in particular to Mr. Neil. Thank you, Neil. Please stop breaking my IEM. Now the list, the ultimate IEM list, is by default a list of every IEM that is approved by me. Once you go into the list, you would see that yes, the fine-grained ranking system has been completely removed, and for good reason. All of you seem to be way too salty at the letter grades that I give to some IEMs. Now, the approval criteria is simple. First of all, it just simply has to be still in production. And secondly, it has to be worth the price, at least in my opinion. Now, discontinued IEMs are not eligible to be approved. So there could be an IEM that I think is really good, really amazing, but if you can't buy it officially anymore, then I can't approve it. And for an IEM to be considered worth the price, well, in the context of the old IEM ranking list, as long as it would be awarded a 1, 2, or 3 star, then it would be approved. Now, this would put a lot of scrutiny on high-end IEMs, especially multi-kilobuck ones. It could very well be that I think that a $5,000 IEM is one of the best in the world. But if I also think that a $1,000 IEM is also one of the best in the world, then you can see why the ultra expensive IEM wouldn't be worth the price to me in this case. So for those of you high rollers who are seething over the fact that your IEM isn't approved by me, you and I would agree that the concept of value basically doesn't exist in the high-end market. So for this list specifically, ultra luxury IEMs are simply not going to make the cut. Just like with the old IEM ranking list, this also doubles as a list of every single IEM that I have personally tested. And now that I am basically an industry player, I have to be very careful with my words. So I'd like all of you to read between the lines. So for example, if I have tested an IEM that is in production, and there is no green tick beside it. At the beginning of the video, I have referenced my tagline. If it's not on the list, it doesn't exist. But how? Well, if you go onto the website, click on the table view, and then untick tested, then it becomes the most complete database, the most complete compendium of every single relevant IEM on the planet. Now, some of you may now say that that's not true because you know of a random obscure Japanese IEM from 2015 that was on sale for a grand total of 2 months. Here's where I have to explain that if I say that if it's not on the list, it doesn't exist, it means that if it's not on the list, nobody cares about its existence. So yes, this is again a list of every single relevant IEM on the planet. Beat that. But apart from this being simply a list, there's also many great features that you can use in order to make your purchasing decisions much easier. There is a favorite function, which means that you can save your favorite IEMs for your next visit on the same browser. The sorting features, both by alphabetical as well as by price, as well as price bracket filtering or even custom price ranges. You can see what's available for sale at our retail store Hangout.audio, or even what's available for demo at our physical retail store at 200 South Bridge Road. We can also filter the driver configurations, whether it being pure BA, single DD, hybrids, tribrids, etc. if you're interested in that, and by connection type as well, but in this case it's more an excuse to filter by true wireless or cabled wireless. So apart from the graph databases, I think this is probably one of the most ambitious projects they've undertaken so far. I'd like to remind people now that this list is not complete. It will never be complete. It is a constant work in progress where I have to update models as they get discontinued, or even just new models when they just come out. And for those of you who have access to the list already, you would see that the sound signature column is woefully underpopulated, and I can tell you that we're currently working on it. Just be patient. And I know for a fact that we're not going to get everything right. We're not perfect, so you can always email us at support@hangout.audio if you find any errors or missing entries. So rejoice for those of you who want the ranking list updated, but the ranking list is dead. So here is a successor. And finally, it's time for me to shout out my big money boys. Share all of your names. You have subscribed to the $20 tier on my Patreon. Yes, it still exists. And for those who have subscribed to my $30 tier, allow me to speak out your beautiful names: Dennis, crinacle, Andrew, Like Pizza, Seraphim, Chemotherapy, Daryl, and Nano. I thank you all. Ushering the new year with a fresh new project, and there will be a lot more this 2025. I will see you guys next week, and don't die. Fuck off.